Something out of nothing, the culture grew from breaks. B-boys with fat laces helping DJs carry crates. 12 inches with the name covered up, 45 black with tape. Needle dropping on the get down part on the one, never late. Moonwalk look like skates, time is infinite like the 8. Built to destroy the devil's world, God body at the gate. In God we trust, the dollars we lust, catching crumbs off the cake. Now we bop to a beat on walls of concrete in Northern State. It was 88, we was victims of a scheme. It was all just a dream, but now my homie is a fiend. We live for the culture, but we kill for the cream. Trying to make the street light up, stay on your toes, Billie Jean.
How can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me?
With like exhibit, it'll create the culture with every breath as I live it. They try to prohibit, but I'm the master of the pivot. No gimmicks on point like a digit. I'm like Malcolm, ready to rock it. Get your hand out my pocket. Everybody the gatekeeper, but y'all forgot to lock it. Swear by culture freedom, I got more vice than subs and Crockett. Now my boy Elroy, out in space like space's rockets. Truth be told, we was crushed from the cold. Niggas getting high off the dust from Sugar Hill. Now the truth gets sold with strippers on the pole. The light, just with rappers for the thrill. Get the rush from off one pill when Flash was on the wheels. Singing white lines with my brothers and folding bills. Slinging white dimes when Uncle Joe wrote that bill. Around 94, fucking around with Hillary and Bill.
How can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me?
It was go and tell. Now y'all go and tell. Hop on the gram, look, show and tell. No ethics and no codes, just cut the pie a la mode. Spinning red whites now lights the block like a strobe. Behold, the pale horse that he rode. Here to bring death with guns to unload. Conspiracy to conspire, there's a theory on the wire. When Cohen is a priest whose doctrine is the liar. Here to rob the hood, I keep it tucked like the friar. Grew into a man following rappers I admire. No more b-boys in the cypher, no more DJs catching breaks. Now everybody in the trap with 45s wrapped in tape. The culture has been raped, pimped out, and straight flooded. Just like the Bronx in the 70s, everything gutted. Trusted, rusted, busted and disgusted. We should have shut it down when Chuck said not to trust it.
How can you justify what you've taken culturally? You love to lie, to hide the truth. Do you really think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're me? Think you're, oh yeah. Think that you can do what I think that you can do what I do. You think that you can do what I do. You think that you can do what I do. Tell me, do you think you're me? Tell me, do you think you're me? You know you ain't me.
Show, you know what it is. It's your boy Hakim Green, channel live and direct, BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark Madism on episode 174 of the Madism Sports Program. What up, Cliffy? What's the deal?
What up, Hot? How you doing, bro?
Everything's good. Happy New Year. You weren't with us last week, so I didn't get a chance to wish you a Happy New Year. Yeah, man. Big shout out to Tampa Bay Knights. Big shout out to Eric Moore, 5705. Big shout out to Debbie Cuff, Wendy Hatchett. Big shout out to Alizé BBZ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over on Instagram. Yeah, we got Damien in the building. Damien Donaldson. Salute to him. He's over on Facebook. In tune. So yeah, man, episode 174, Madism Sports. Wild card week is on its way. It's this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I gotta say, Cliff, I can't remember wild card weekend being this deep in terms of successive teams in the wild card week. Got some 13-win teams there. We got some 14-win teams, I believe. I mean, it's kind of major. You got the Vikings with their 14-2, 14-3, excuse me.
Yeah.
Playing the Rams. And you got who else you got from the NFC in the wild card game?
You got the Commanders against the Bucks. Those are the two on the
mid-level teams though, right?
Huh?
Got those are like mid-level teams. So you got the Chargers at the Texans.
Right.
Steelers at the Ravens. Broncos at the Bills. The Bills is a 14-win team, right? Or 15-win team.
14. No, they lost because the Patriots beat them.
Okay, so you got the Bills are a 14-win team. You got the Packers versus the Eagles. Commanders at the Bucks. Vikings at the Rams, and the Vikings are a 14-win team. Yep. So that's like, wild card week is kind of like stout,
Well, it was like a lot of top heavy that ate off the bottom feeders, and the upper portion of the teams are real stout, real good. I mean, I think it should be some good football. I mean, it's indicative of the lines. Like even that Vikings Rams. I mean, yeah, the Rams would they lose 7 games? But they were hurt.
Hosting the Vikings.
Well, yeah, they're hosting the Vikings, but they're also only a half a point or a 1 point underdog to a 14-win team.
Right.
So I mean, it tells you that the competition is pretty good, but pretty kind of even. And I think the Vikings were kind of exposed last weekend. Detroit showed them who they are. I mean, they're a 14-win team, but I don't think they're as dominant as Detroit or Kansas City or Buffalo, or even the Eagles for that matter.
They played in Minnesota or they played in Detroit?
Huh?
They played in Minnesota or Detroit?
Last game they played them in Detroit. They beat them about a month ago in Minnesota. So, I mean, Detroit swept them. But the victory in Minnesota, Detroit needed a last-second field goal. They dominated this past game.
I mean, do you think that the Minnesota Vikings just took their foot off the gas to not, get ready for the playoffs and,
No.
hopefully face them?
Absolutely not. It's the difference. Listen, that was the biggest game of the year between both those teams because it's the difference between a 1 and a 5 seed, and you get home field and you get the bye. No, they absolutely wanted to win that game. What happened was Sam Darnold revealed himself. He reverted back to the Sam Darnold we know because he absolutely looked like he was seeing goose. I mean, he was spinning around, turning. He couldn't even hit open receivers.
Wow, hold on a second. Man, this isn't ready. Yeah. So Sam Darnold finally got exposed, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I can't even say that Detroit and their stout defense because they probably had 4 or 5 starters missing from their defense. But they played well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got. So we got the Vikings Rams. The Vikings are the favorite. You said, but only by 1.5.
Yeah.
Playing at the Rams. I mean, the Rams had a hell of a second half of the season. They kind of stepped their whole shit up. But what did they do this past weekend? I would assume they won.
I'm trying to remember who they played. They lost, but it was a meaningless game.
They didn't play everybody.
No, they didn't play anybody. They lost to Seattle.
Wow. Okay, yeah, for sure. You got the Commanders at the Bucks. You know, that's going to be a tough battle. I mean, we want to see some great things happen for the Commanders, but Baker Mayfield and what he's got cooking in Tampa has been like, very. I don't know if it's all pro like, but his numbers are great.
He's close. He's definitely been balling. I mean, listen, they didn't come out the toughest division, but they won it, and he basically held them together while they went through all those early season injuries. So I'm impressed with them, but I'm definitely hoping that the Commanders can show us something because Jaden Daniels is an exciting player to watch.
Yeah. Rookie of the year, is it him or Bo Nixon?
What'd you say?
Is it rookie of the year? Is it Jaden Daniels or Bo Nixon?
Your audio's in and out.
I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels or Bo Nixon?
What'd you say? No.
Rookie of the year.
Oh, will he be rookie of the year? Yeah, I think he'll get it. He was leading most of the year, but Bo Nix absolutely came on strong. And he had a beast of a last game. I mean, they had to win. And obviously the Commanders didn't. And, you go to last month of the season, Bo Nix probably has just been dominating. But as far as the totality, yeah, he should win it. Jaden Daniels should win it.
Okay. And who do you have in that Commanders Bucks game? Who do you think is going to win that?
I like. I think it'll be a close game. And while I want the Commanders to win, I think somehow Baker and the boys will pull it out, and just because they're at home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They're at home. Commanders are still a young team. First playoff appearance for a lot of those guys. You got a lot of, you got a bunch of more veterans on Bucks. Mike Evans, I expect to fucking have a great game. Him and Baker got a nice little chemistry going on. He made his bonus thanks to Baker Mayfield throwing him the ball. Now it was some awesome talk about FanDuel. I guess because I guess the over under on Mike Evans breaking getting that 10-game 1,000-yard season.
Uh-huh.
The 10-time 1,000-yard. He got 89 yards. He needed 85 yards to get his 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
On that last throw, he got 89 yards. If he would have gotten, I think, 100 yards. No. If he would have got 90 yards, something about the money was way higher, but he only got the 89. So even though he broke the record, he didn't break the FanDuel over under number, which was 90 yards.
Well, they have staggered numbers, and it's like milestone numbers. So 90 was a milestone, 100 was a milestone, 110 was a milestone. So yeah, I mean when it gets that close, the payout is a lot different because I know his and to be honest with you, it wasn't that huge of a payout anyway because I want to say his straight line under over total was 105. So, and what I mean by that is that if you're paying 115 to the house, that's usually at par. Anything above that, you're paying juice on it, and you're getting you're basically, so like, let's say if he got 80 yards, I'm sorry, if it's a 105 payout at the flat line at par, say, then if he got like 90 yards, then it would pay a little bit less. So it'll be paying maybe like a minus 130, as opposed to if he got 110 yards, it would be paying above par. So instead of paying the minus 115, which is normally par, it would be paying like a plus 125. And the way the betting things work, Hawk, is it's like it's similar to that of golf. If something's at par, where the number is at something that they think they're going to do, then it's priced that way. Anything above that, you pay a little bit more for. Anything below that, you get paid a little bit more for. It's kind of tricky to understand, but that's how the betting lines work.
I'm seeing if I can find the video that we was talking about the controversy.
I can't hear you.
Oh, really? You can't hear me?
I can hear you just now, but you're like in and out.
Really? That's crazy. You still hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, we'll just keep rocking. I might have to move to another room, maybe.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Cool. But let me see. Packers versus Eagles. Who you got?
Well, Jordan Love got hurt, right? And Watson is done for the season, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so not to mention that although with that being said, Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, now they're expecting him to be definitely okay, but before then, but he is in concussion protocol.
We talk about Packers Eagles. Bye. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy
What
New
up,
Year.
Kai?
All that good stuff.
Yeah, we talk about Packers Eagles right
Can
now.
you guys hear me?
Yep. Can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I think it's not gonna be a cakewalk by any stretch. If anybody is thinking that.
Yeah. Well, Cliff was just highlighting that Jordan Love is injured. He's still not is he playing this week, Cliff? Or they don't know? What's the deal?
Well, he says more than likely he's going to play, but it's certainly not guaranteed, and he won't be 100%. And like I said, Watson, I want to say it's an ACL, but he's done for the season.
Wow. I did not know that. Okay, that changes things.
Yeah.
And they're at Philly.
I mean, I definitely like the Eagles either way because even though Jalen is in concussion protocol, I think he'll play.
Yeah, he's rested for 2 weeks now.
Is it 2 or 3?
Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah,
it may be 3. Yeah.
So, I hate to hear that Jordan is injured because this season he's suffered quite a few, and I hope this isn't like a precursor to what his career is going to be, just in and out of different injuries.
Yeah, man. I think Packers going to Philly, Watson not playing.
Jordan Love looking shaky. I'll probably have to get that to the Eagles. In fact, if Hurts comes back healthy, and can stay healthy, I think I got the Eagles coming out of the NFC.
They're tough. They definitely have been the most dominant, even more so than the Lions, only because the Lions lost a few players. But the Lions' defense looked a little suspect a couple of weeks ago, but last week they dominated, and their offense is almost unstoppable. I mean, everybody's like wondering if Gibbs could be the bell cow and tote it, every down, and he absolutely can, and he's balling, and and he has and he can catch out of the backfield. Philly and Detroit, that's going to be a good matchup. That's who I see going to the NFC title game.
Yeah.
Cliff, I agree, man. I think Sunday was a statement game for Detroit because I think we all felt the same way about their injuries and that they were kind of let Minnesota take that number one seed, and they said, "Oh no." So, it's not going to be easy. Easy grab for Philly either way.
And I know they were talking early on about how Aiden Hutchinson will be back for the Super Bowl if they should get there. I'm sure that was a long projected. I bet you he comes back before that. I bet you he'll probably come back by the NFC Championship game if they get that far. Because he was close a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
So yeah, we talked about the Vikings and the Rams earlier. Kyle, I don't know if you want to comment on that game.
Despite what we saw on Sunday, I'll just say I'll still take the Vikings. Puka Nacua and the Rams look tough. They definitely rallied on the second half of the season. But I think Brian Flores is gonna he's not gonna let an offense beat him like that again. I don't think, especially not the Rams. Shout out to Sean McVay and that whole squad. They're definitely great. They run a great offense, but I got the Vikings.
I don't know. I think when Puka and Cooper Kupp is there and Stafford is doing this thing, and that defense actually been coming on, the Rams defense. They're young and they're fiery and they're exploding off the ball and I don't know. I think and like I told Hawk, Kai, I think Darnold's revealed himself. I think but the old Darnold is back.
If that is true, then wow, what a time to have the fall from grace in the playoffs, man.
I mean, you're projecting. He had a bad game.
Yeah, I think he had a bad game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not betting on Sam Darnold. I'm not betting. Don't get it twisted. I'm not betting on him. And I think the fact that they're going to the Rams and the way the Rams have been playing up until currently, I'm not sure the Vikings can pull that out. I think it's going to be a very good game, close game. But I might have the Rams in that one. What up, Coach?
What up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Isn't
New
it
Year.
sad all of our teams are at home?
Well,
I like that because now none of us can talk.
I don't think it was ever a question for mine. I think you guys had a little bit of a wrinkle maybe mid-season. I knew early that we weren't going nowhere.
Well, I knew early the Cowboys weren't going anywhere. They did worse than I thought they would do. I gave them 8 and 9.
I had hope. I had a lot of hope, but I was disappointed. In 0.1 mile. So, Kai, I see y'all might get Travis Hunter.
I'm not mad at it. I think I am mad. Well, I'm not mad, but I was shocked that Joe Shane kept his job. But I mean, hey, I guess it's cheaper to keep him. When you look at the field, I guess, and all the other sexy general manager jobs out there. But Travis Hunter, I mean, Adoree Jackson is a straight up bust. Banks is a good number two corner, and I think if you get a legit shutdown corner, I know he's considering playing wide receiver, but he can play both. And if
Yep.
he can play corner and be a shutdown corner for us, and get a legitimate defensive coordinator, I think that could be a good thing for us. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Didn't someone say on the show last week that his focus was going to be defensive back?
Yeah, I
What?
believe
Okay.
that's what he's saying. Um, but I think Prime wants him to play both. So who
I
knows?
think he'll be able to play both.
Yeah, at some point. But coming in, you think he'll focus on just one? Or do you think that he'll go out the gate and play both sides of the ball?
I think he's gonna play both out the gate because I think he's good enough. Whereas, in particular, even not if the Giants, whoever he goes to is gonna be trash, and so he's gonna be able to help on both sides of the ball. And I think he's good enough where they're legitimately gonna need him.
Now, he got things coming with him. That in New York City with the media.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
bro. Now it wouldn't be a good look in that regard at all. Ugh.
You
No,
know,
New
Jordan, right
York.
now.
New York is not good for him off the field at all. Um, in his
She
present
being drill
in his present
videos.
situation.
Yeah.
Well, he could be one of those guys that pressure of New York is what fuels him. I mean, he definitely seems like he will be strongly affected by it and certainly engaged. But will it be a negative thing? Will it be a positive thing? Will it be something he has to adjust to? Will it be something that fuels him? I mean, I think, and his marketability, if he plays both ways in New York, would be that much greater, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Oh no, I
That
think
that
he'll be
part.
fine on the field. It's off the field. He's gonna have all kind of issues in New York.
Mhm.
In his present situation.
Yeah. What up, Rich Burrows?
Yo, what's the word?
What's up,
Cool.
Rich?
How you gentlemen doing?
What up,
Happy
Rich?
New Year.
Peace.
Good.
Peace.
Happy new. So currently we're talking football right now. Wild card week is heading up this weekend.
Oh,
We
boom.
already talked about the Vikings and the Rams. We talked about early we talked about the Bucks and the Commanders. We
Nice.
talked about the Eagles and the Packers, and then we reversed course. He just hopped on. So right now we're talking about Travis Hunter, and
Oh, boom.
he's expected to land in New York. Kyle Will is a New York Giants fan,
Big
so
bomb. Right.
it's we're discussing how sound of a choice would that be, considering, of course, he's the greatest athlete I've ever seen like this. Played both
Right.
sides of the ball, Heisman Trophy. He got the best defender award. He's
Yes.
that guy on the
Yes.
field.
Yes.
There's a lot of other things happening, and with the New York media, what you think?
Well, you know what? It's funny because he's one of those players who gets the athlete designation. Because I just saw I posted a video in the season ticket of him hooping, and he was just doing windmills and what I mean. He's got to have like a 38-inch vertical. What I mean? But I mean, I guess what it really comes down to is, the value of what you need. Do you need a super lockdown corner, like a true lockdown corner? You know what I mean? And do you need, someone that's going to be sort of on both sides of the ball? Because I think being on both sides of the ball has a lot of value. It's kind of probably easier to do in NCAA as opposed to the NFL, where dudes are bigger and faster and stronger, and although they say he has an incredible motor, but that hitting on the NFL level, could take a toll if you're trying to play on both sides of the ball. So I think he'll make a good fit. He'll definitely, be, in that sort of like, strong lockdown corner conversation. and then you could like run some packages for him on the offensive side of the ball. But I think he would definitely be a big hit in New York, because they don't really have since Saquon left, they don't really have a face of the franchise. Most people want their QB to be the face of the franchise, but Giants don't have, they don't have, no possibility of getting unless they trade for somebody. But I think he'll be a hit. I think he'll be a big hit in New York, and I think he'll get some marketing money. He'll become the face of the franchise. Very early until they, get themselves a franchise quarterback. But I was really disappointed in how Colorado finished the season.
Yeah.
That didn't. It kind of made me think more about the shortcomings of Shador in a sense, as opposed to Travis, because Travis did what he does. But I think he'll be a good fit in New York. I think he'll sort of be a 10-year lockdown corner. Not saying that those 10 years are all going to be with the Giants, but in the NFL, I can see him having a decade's worth of not even getting the ball thrown towards him, because on some Revis Island joints where he ain't even getting a chance to really defend.
Yeah.
But that's that that has value to it. So I think he'll be a good fit in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about Malik Neighbors, Kyle Will? Him, if he does play a receiver alongside of Malik Neighbors, wouldn't that be something special?
In a short answer, yes. I think that would be something special. I think it would also see the thing. I love Malik Neighbors as a player. I think he's electrifying, potentially, but he had a lot of key drops this season. In fact, I think you could pinpoint a lot of our losses, the close losses, to him dropping the ball in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
I think having somebody like Travis Hunter being that legitimate threat, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also he can get out here and line up and on the other side and really catch the ball too. I think that'll put Malik on his game and make him increase his focus. I think towards the end of the season, you saw that Malik started coming into his own. Though the games were meaningless, but yeah, still he made some big catches and he did his thing. So I'm overall, to answer your question without being too long-winded, I'm satisfied. I think he has a bright future.
Well, we saw him mature because we were talking about his drops mid-season and while they were going on, and he got better. And like you said, at the end of the season, he definitely had some big catches, and he balled all season. And we can't forget he was a rookie, so he really, really did his thing. So I think Travis would definitely take some of the pressure off of him, and because he'll be another threat. And I know Travis, played slot and went across the middle and all that in college, but will he be able to do it in on Sundays? That'll be the question.
I just want to know who's going to throw either one of them the ball, though.
Yeah.
No, that's a great question. From what
He's
I'm
not
hearing,
Daniel Jones.
Right. We know it's not him.
Has he been let go already, or no? Is he still in the squad?
yeah, he's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota.
Wow, okay. Okay. Well, it won't be him.
I'm not excited about this, but I think as a stopgap and as somebody to kind of steady the ship until we find that quarterback, I like the prospect of Kirk Cousins coming to New York. He's not the ideal quarterback with his age and everything like that, but out of everybody that's out there, I don't think Sam Darnold will leave Minnesota, and I don't know what's going to happen with Russell Wilson or the other guy, the other brother from Pittsburgh, but Kirk Cousins looks like he's in our future. Giants love a white quarterback.
Yeah. And Cousins just keep getting paid.
That's agent in the business.
Just keep getting paid.
Yeah. So let's talk about these AFC games. Got the Broncos and the Bills. The Broncos and the Bills. Of course, I got the Bills. But where are the Broncos right now in terms of,
Well, people may be sleeping because that line is over a touchdown. I think it's 8.5, something like that. But that Broncos defense is legit, and Bo Nix is coming off his best game as a pro, so he's coming in with confidence. So I think they can probably keep that game close. And we still haven't seen all year, which is why he's the favorite to win the MVP, a Josh Allen implosion. And we've seen it every season, a few games. So we better hope he shows up in the playoffs because.
All right. So when is the final tally for the MVP?
It's probably like next week. I think it's coming up soon. Though I know it'll be before the Super Bowl.
It's after this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's after this weekend. But
if
this stuff does not supposed to count.
Josh Allen has that meltdown that you're talking about, he can't win the MVP. Not if Lamar,
right.
Not if Lamar does what he needs to do against the Steelers.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not these games. The playoff, particularly the first round, not supposed to count.
I know, but like their numbers. Like when you look at Lamar's numbers relative to his numbers last year when he won the MVP, like he's thrown for 4 interceptions. In all reality, he's not thrown for any interceptions because none of them were his fault.
He's ball. His numbers are sick, yo.
How many touchdowns he got? Like 40.
I think he has. I think he threw for 38, and he has like something like 42 total or something crazy like that. But it's phenomenal.
No, and I'm gonna say no interceptions because they weren't his fault. Don't give it to him. Give it to them, to his receivers. Like
if they go
to their hands.
Yeah, if they go strictly off the numbers, Lamar by a landslide, in my opinion. But I think they'll give it to Josh.
But I can't take away what Josh Allen means to the Buffalo Bills, considering the lack of depth that they have on their team. And his numbers are bananas. And he's done some great. So there's an argument to be made for Josh Allen. However, if he's having that game you're talking about, Cliff, that game we always get that game from him, and Lamar shines, do you think that's going to weigh? Does that weigh on the voters at all? No.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. E, what you
Let
think?
me ask, because I haven't seen the brackets, how it's set up. But if Buffalo wins, do they play Baltimore in the playoffs at all? Would they play them in the next round?
No.
I think the way it would shake out,
they're going to play the lower seed because Kansas City's. Well, I'm sorry, they're going to play the higher seed of who wins the other 2 games because Kansas City will play the lowest seed of the weekend.
So yeah, they're going to play they'll play the Ravens and the Steelers.
Right.
Woo! So what you getting at, Coach?
I'm saying
that's the matchup right there. But the MVP would have already happened, I think.
Yeah, I know it would have happened, but I think that's the implosion game.
Right.
I think that's when it would happen.
Right.
And then everybody will regret giving him the MVP.
Well, he gonna have some tough defenses because I do expect, even though I expect Pittsburgh to keep it close, I do expect Baltimore to win, and Denver's defense. I mean, their defense been balling all year, so he got 2 defenses coming up that he's gonna have to show it.
Right. Yes.
Hey, I think for him and Lamar, both of them, as far as I'm concerned, got to win the Super Bowl.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They both got to win the Super Bowl. Well, I don't know. Josh Allen, he got to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Lamar has to win it.
Right. And I think also, although like we were just saying that MVP is a regular season award, right? So whatever you do in a regular season, that's what counts. But I know that numbers to numbers, Lamar's numbers is ridiculous. He's on some 2011 Aaron Rodgers sort of a season, and because, they had my man Tucker blow all those field goals that could have won them games and made their record way more sterling than it looks, because he blew maybe 3 games for them, and you add those 3 wins and, subtract those 3 losses, he not only has this, sterling sort of great numbers
Individual
as a
stats.
quarterback, individual
Yeah.
stats, but the team stats look way better. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
So a lot of those losses,
See?
didn't reflect on him.
That's not him. Like those
That's not
drops,
him.
those interceptions, it wasn't him.
Right.
The missed field goals, that wasn't him.
Wasn't him.
Yeah, but we gotta still know that this is the best team he's ever had. I mean, he got Derrick Henry. He got support. He ain't doing it all, but he's flawless because he don't have to be Superman.
Right.
But
he still is Superman. That's the crazy part.
See, he still is Superman.
Yeah, like he don't have to be, and he still is. His numbers didn't take a dip with having Derrick Henry. They got better.
They got better.
Yeah.
I think that's the key difference between him and Jalen Hurts. Whereas Jalen Hurts just kind of regress, but he's a game manager. Which is not necessarily a negative, but Jalen Hurts is a game manager. And like I said, Lamar is Superman.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but I think it's per his style, and I'm talking about Jalen. But don't get it twisted, y'all. They're balling, and they got 14 wins too. So I mean, the Eagles don't look like flashy or whatever, but they're dominating.
And that's what I like about the Eagles is that it's not flashy. It's a lot of hurdles. It's a lot of obstacles. It's a lot of they play above themselves considering all the shit that's going on behind the scenes on the sideline with the coaches, along with AJ Brown and all the talk and the chatter and you would think that they would have been imploded, but they don't. They keep winning and winning and winning. I think that character, trust. When you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who's, like you said, more of a game manager, his team has learned to pick him up. Like that's, he's definitely got that leadership steel. It kind of like compensates for his lack of play on the field, if that makes sense.
Yes. I mean, you know what? He played, he's in coach speak, he plays winning football. You know what I mean? It might not be super flashy, and especially now, and it's funny because, a lot of stats in football are situational because, you take Saquon could have a bigger footprint in the MVP race if his touchdowns were more. But Jalen Hurts with the tush push snatches a whole bunch of touchdowns that Saquon would normally get, like from the 2-yard line, from the 1-yard line. Those are really Saquon's joints. But when you got the whole tush push with Jalen, he easily took at least 4 or 5 touchdowns from Saquon. Yeah. So you put those touchdowns with that 2,000-yard season, with the fact that Hurts didn't have like a tremendous season statistically, and you put those touchdowns on Barkley's ledger, and he is a different candidate for the MVP.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that is that the tush push is a uniquely Philadelphia Eagles thing that they were doing before he got there.
Of course.
So him going there, you kind of know what you're working with. You know the system was expected, was not expected. All right. And even given that he had the best year of all the running backs, including Derrick Henry. So the way their team functions, it really benefited Saquon, considering he's leaving the Giants and he was never really able to, shine the way we knew he could, or he knew he could. In Philadelphia, they even given the tush push and all that, he still has room to have, the greatest season of running backs had since Eric Dickerson?
Right. Yeah. No, I think since Adrian Peterson.
So what's
Peterson had that?
Because you got the OJ, you got the Adrian Peterson,
Adrian Peterson. I think all the runners that went over 2,000, I think he's a 10th running back. So I believe within that is Dickerson, it's Peterson. I think it might have had that one. Did Marshall Faulk have that one season where he might have went 2,000? But it's been several 2,000s. It's been 10. He made 10. But he definitely had a great season, and it was, it's very rare, when you talk about the history of the NFL, which has been around for Arin, it's like to get someone getting 2,000 yards, and he's the 10th player to do it ever. That's a very historical season, and controversially to some, they sat him for that final game where he could have broke the record. But although I still think that breaking the record in 17 games and someone else did it in 16 games, I still would give it to someone that did it in less games. But anyway, he had a great season.
Yeah, but OJ did it in 14.
And 14, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
So who has
He
the
had a bunch of 250s.
Who has the most total yards in a season? Who holds that record?
Ooh.
Total rushing yards?
Total rushing yards in a season. That's Eric Dickerson, no?
That's
Dickerson,
Dickerson.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's Dickerson.
Yeah.
And like he said, Jamal for the Ravens had that.
In 16 games.
Yes. 16 games.
16
Yeah.
games.
So whenever you increase the the amount of games per season, it's always going to be a contingent that holds true to the fact that if you did it in less games, then that has more sort of weight to it than if you did it with the added games.
Well, I'm also hearing the argument of how many carries, because even though you may have played less games, OJ had actually more carries than did Saquon had.
Right.
Eric Dickerson had more carries than Saquon had. So
Right.
when you
Right.
go yards per carry, now that's a whole nother.
Well, that's a good argument.
That's a great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Yards per carry.
Yes. You're very, very hot. That's a real good point to make, because if you are getting that kind of sort of like bell cow, because Saquon was never bell cow in it. Like he was still getting like those 25 carries, 22 carries, but he was just breaking off explosive play after explosive play. But you get the dude that was having like those 300 and something rushes, 320 rushes, and averaging 4.3. But Saquon was like 5.2 or something that, he was just, he produced more per play, but again, he wasn't getting the same amount of carries. And the Bills stunk when OJ was there. He was the only thing popping up in there.
Yeah. That is right. That is right.
Yes.
That's right.
But yeah, he had a great season. He had a fantastic season, and I think that if it was still an award that can go to anyone. The last 20 years, it's turned into like a complete quarterback award.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so that was the other point that I wanted to make about Saquon, is that it's such a quarterback award. Like, it would be really hard for him to have done that, especially given what Lamar's been doing and what Josh is doing. So it's like, So that said, I mean, I just want to also mention Saquon jumping over dude backwards and then rushing for like another 4 yards. That's amazing.
Crazy.
But did you see the college player who jumped backwards over 2 people?
Did I say that? Was that Genty?
I should have had it ready for y'all, but nah, I forget what game it was. But dude,
it might have been Genty from Boise State.
Jumped backwards over 2 people.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Football.
That's yeah. Football is crazy, and when when football players do crazy athletic moves, it feels just more explosive, because for a fact that the landing might be painful. Oh my God, you might get blown up when you land. When you do an athletic play in the NBA, ain't no one gonna, blow your whole spine up. No possibility of that. But the things that he was doing was definitely, and like and Dickerson, yeah. I don't know who said Dickerson, but Dickerson was he was a very what's so funny? I really appreciate the more of the upright runners like Dickerson who got 2,000 yards, because when you have that low center of gravity like Saquon, you know what I mean? And it's like he his contact balance is really great. You know what I mean? Because he's such a low center of gravity and he's running low to the ground. But when you had Eric Dickerson, he ran like, he was marching
Straight
with,
up.
Yeah, straight up, like a
Knees
track
high.
runner.
Like
Ball.
he's a million black men. Right.
Only certain people want to do that because you
Right.
got all this up here.
All this up there.
Well, Derrick Henry runs like that.
And Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's
touch him though.
was running over through jokers.
Well, yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry's what, 6'5", 280?
6'2". He's 6'2" and 6'3", but also, that stiff arm he got has gotten so many people off of him. Defenders don't really get a chance to really get a crazy clean, crazy hit. And he was doing those stiff arms. You look at he was doing that in high school, bro.
Yeah.
He was throwing dudes down with that stiff arm in high school. That's his pioneer move since he was a teenager. You know what I mean? So he been bringing the pain to defensive players since he was a kid, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. All right, so listen, we got Steelers at the Ravens. I wish KG was here. They've been on like a little losing streak lately.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the Steelers.
The Steelers. Mm-hmm.
Well, but listen.
That Mike Tomlin might be somewhere else next year.
Nah,
I ain't going nowhere.
that ain't happening.
Rooney's gonna be fired
to the Bears.
Listen, it's a divisional game. They're just coming off a blowout from the Ravens, and it's the playoffs. So it's going to be a close, grimy, nip and tuck game. Watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone has been saying that the Steelers peaked too early. Because they had that run where, Russell Wilson was being on some, Seattle Russell Wilson, and, Pickens, when he wasn't being a fool, he was, making tremendous plays. But, a lot of times in the NFL, because of the amount of games, the 17 games, there's a possibility of peaking too soon. Like you hit the stride and you hit it too soon. You know what I mean? That's why, KC always, I don't know if it's like how they set it up, but KC always hits the peak. They always hit their stride right at the correct moment. I don't know if Andy Reid got some sort of, voodoo shit that he's doing, but he makes sure that when it comes to the end of the year, end of the season, you know what I mean? They might not even had a great season like this season. Like if you look at Mahomes' individual stats, they're not incredible. He was
one of the worst fantasy quarterbacks of the year.
Yes.
But they got a complete team.
Winning.
That's the deal.
Yep.
Got a complete team.
Yes.
AFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the Steelers need to win, though. I think the Steelers need to get out of the first round.
Yeah, I think the Steelers need to get out of the first round.
Yes, they first round out too many.
I don't think they will, but if they don't, I've been hearing rumblings that Mike Tomlin could end up in Chicago.
Ooh. Although Chicago have asked to speak to McCarthy, because I'm like, why would you speak to him? They requested they requested from Dallas to speak to him, and I'm like, about what?
That's
about
probably
how to lose in the first round.
That's probably McCarthy's people trying to, drum up some hype for him.
Yeah.
Yo, put that out there.
Yeah, put that out there for sure.
Because I don't know if y'all saw, the Cowboys denied it. They denied it today. Said they can't talk to him.
Oh
wow!
See, that's dirty. So if they don't re-sign him, but didn't let him speak to the Bears, that
means they're gonna re-sign him.
They're gonna re-sign him.
That's probably what he wanted to see. That was the
ploy.
Cliff, I agree with you. He put that out there so the Cowboys would have to publicly commit.
Right.
But I don't think they're gonna resign him. I don't.
That'd be so dirty.
I think they are. I think they are because they don't know what to do with anything right now.
Right.
They don't know, like, what do you do with Dak? what are you going to get when Dak comes back?
Right.
They don't have no running backs. Elliott just left and went somewhere else. Not that he was the running back that we should be banking on anyway. Okay, you got CeeDee Lamb. You don't know what you're doing with Micah Parsons. That deal is not sealed yet. All right.
Well, they ain't going to let Micah go. They ain't going to let him go.
They're not going to let him go. But, okay, all right. So, coaching-wise, are you really trying to make a serious run to win? No. So why would you change coaches?
Right. And I think also Dak is the world is tired of Dak. You know, like I think the world is like, listen, let's just get, you know, they need to move Dak and just go like, you know what? And I'm a Cowboys fan, you know what I mean? But I think that, you know, Dak has shown his limitations, and he's always like, you know, just not quite good enough when it comes to the big games, you know, and, you know, moving on from him, because sometimes people just need a change of scenario.
I was thinking the same thing.
A
change of scenery could be good for Dak.
I think it's more of this, right? Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, talent-wise, is not Dak Prescott. He can't
not
do
all
it.
Talent, right?
But he has a thing about him that inspires people to where I don't think Dak has that. And if Dak had that, the team he has around him would play above themselves. They would want to play hard for him. And I don't get that. And I think that's the problem. He doesn't have the personality type to be the leader that the Cowboys need.
Right. I mean, and then it's funny because they both look like that kind of Tyler Perry, how did I get here, my best man sort of situation. Right? So they kind of resemble each other physically. You know what I mean? But for some reason, they're different. Dak ain't inspiring cats. Clutch.
He just ain't clutch.
I don't even think it's about him being clutch. He's done things to put them in a position to win.
Right.
But he hasn't done the things to will them to win.
Right.
He does just enough.
Right.
So it's not him. But you're the quarterback, so you got to. Everybody is like Jalen got that thing where even though he ain't throwing the ball down the field, he's missing. He might have threw an interception. He might have.
Right.
When the time comes to get the push, all right, let's go. And niggas is like, all right, come on, we're going to dig it.
Right.
It's like the thing when the Dallas Cowboys used to stand up together and go back down. You was like, yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. And Starbuck was like, you know, it's just an air that Dak is just, he's.
No, we stuck with him.
Push alone. Yeah.
See Lamb's calling. How is your receiver's mom calling you out? See, Dak Prescott, numbers-wise, has done enough for CeeDee Lamb to fucking respect him, yo.
He has.
From numbers.
He has.
Why doesn't this dude respect you like that?
Don't at all. And of course, you know, when your mom's comes out, that's proof positive that you are around your people talking crazy about Dak. You know what I mean? When your mom come out like that, you know, when you at, you know, Sunday dinner or Monday dinner after the game, he talking, crazy. For his mom to basically, you know, parrot the things that she's heard him say. You know what I mean? She's basically saying what, you know, they've had over their Tuesday dinners, and he's like, you know, throwing Dak under the bus, and she just picked up on that and went public with it because we, you know, we're in a social media age and everybody got a microphone, right? So even like you said, for him to be statistically what he's been, and he's been a Pro Bowler, right, consistently, for him to be who he is, and for him to still get that level of kind of like snarky pushback from not even the play of someone's moms, you know, just shows the lack of respect and something that wouldn't even happen to other QBs who have had the statistically great numbers that he's put up over the years. So I don't know. I think maybe again he could be a person that changes scenery. Could he could be a lot of places. They go like golf in Detroit, right? When he was in LA, he was struggling with a K, right? But he get to Detroit and he like, let me show you who I really am.
Right.
So maybe that means that.
100%.
Yeah. But it
That
was
swap was best for both of them.
Yeah,
Stafford and
that was a top
That's what I was gonna
top
say,
10 swap.
Yeah, that was a weird how that happened.
Win-win.
Because Stafford wins the Super Bowl right off the rack, and has been he's dealt with injuries over the last 2-3 years since they won the Super Bowl. But they haven't been to the level that they were when they won the Super Bowl, not even close to it. And in golf, since the Rams win the Super Bowl, has been the guy that you always hoping you'd have. So it's weird how that works, but it works for the best.
But we're for the best, yeah, for both of them.
Yeah, yep. But all right. So the Steelers, Ravens. I got the Ravens in that one. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I
I
got
got
the
the
Ravens.
Ravens.
I got the Ravens. And I think Russ will have two dope freaking moon balls that he throws that just falls because he's good at those moon balls. Like, you know what I mean? He'll have two of those, but I think that the Ravens they got too much. They have two, and then once they get a lead, the Steelers aren't the electric, big comeback sort of a team. Because once the Ravens get the lead, it's going to be Henry all day after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got that.
And also, it's going to be on. It's funny how, and I've been lamenting the, how the NFL, although they are printing money, but they printing money in a way because they're using all these pay streaming services to even watch the game. Now you can't even watch the game. You can't watch that game if you don't got Amazon Prime. That's terrible. NFL used to be
becoming. It's all about the dollar and forcing people in a minute. It's gonna be no choices. You have to pay to play.
Right. Which is bananas.
You have to pay for it.
Right. Which I think is sad because although it works for the league as far as revenue goes, and they keep signing these huge TV deals, and at some point, it's gonna have to be some sort of a pushback because it's really ridiculous. Like you can't, if you don't have any pay service, you're not really going to enjoy the playoffs. You're not going to enjoy the playoffs. You're going to have to go to a bar. You know what I mean? And you go to a bar and watch the game, you inevitably end up spending $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're going to get you one way or another.
They're going to get you one way or another. Like, you know what I mean? So, I think that the NFL, although they are printing money, but they print money at the expense of people being able to have access to the game without coming out of their pocket to watch it on television. Where'd that go? Right. Yeah. But yeah, so I got the Ravens as well.
Yeah.
And same. I do have Prime, so I guess I'll watch
it. Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one of those things we're not going to stop.
It's not going to stop. And of course, although when you look at the valuations of a lot of the NFL teams, you that comes off of the back of all of that money that they're getting on these TV deals, and these TV deals are freaking bananas, man. It's like, and the only reason why NFL players still aren't making that level of money, that they're making that level of money because there's so many players on the team that they hold on. Let me pop out for 1 hot second, guys.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to divide the money. I mean, you talk about 53 players on a roster, and you have a hard cap. So I mean, salaries are only going to be, but so much. But these huge TV deals is what's making all this stuff possible, and these huge deals by the players.
Yep. 100%.
Chargers at the Texans. I'm really impressed by Harbaugh, by the way. Got the team in the playoffs his first year. It's kind of dope.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great story.
Yeah, it is. And of course, the Texans, this is their second run in the playoffs. CJ Stroud, looking good.
Yeah, I think the Chargers win only because the Texans are just decimated by injury. No Tank Dell, obviously no Diggs all year. Hopefully they make it a competitive game, but I think the Chargers are rolling right now. I don't see the Texans stopping it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm gonna take the Chargers, but I think it'll be a hard-nosed, close-fought game. I mean, a defensive battle, low scoring. The Chargers are tough. I mean, like Harbaugh obviously did a really good job, but he came in with a good quarterback. The only thing I was concerned about is their receiving core because they let everybody go basically. But all those guys stepped up, and they didn't blow any leads. They didn't make any stupid calls. I mean, because that's all. Brandon Staley? That's all he did over the past 3 years. Made crazy calls and lost the games at the end.
Yes. And I think when it comes to the playoffs, coaching becomes way bigger. You know what I mean? Because the situational football, it's going into it's how you play those last 2 minutes of a quarter. It's how you come out of the half. You know what I mean? It's how you do in situations, and that's not really only players. That's a real big indication on how the coaching's going. And I think that that's why that's why Andy Reid is such a champion because he's the best at situational football. You know what I mean?
He got DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, right.
He want to get out of the first round. They're playing at home.
Right. Right.
Roll with the Chargers.
Hey, I'm rolling with the Chargers.
So I'm gonna go with the Chargers only because as a Cowboys fan, they do got Dak now. I mean, Zeke now. You know what I mean? And he might, he's good for those. Well, it's so funny because with that illustrious career he had with Dallas, now his real value is as a blocker. His value now is as a blocker. He's a great blocker.
In all honesty, his value has been as a blocker for like the last 5 years.
Oh, of course. He can stand up. He can stand up a linebacker, on a blitz.
They showed a year-by-year account of his yardage per year. And every year it declined. Like his joint is literally like every year he declined by like a lot. So he had that rookie year, and like his second year was phenomenal, but then everything else has been like shaky. So I don't think we ever saw like we didn't get the most out of Ezekiel Elliott considering the big bag he got that first time.
And you know what? It's so funny because every time you get pushback on pay those running backs, and then you pay the running backs, and guess what? This happens. You know what I mean?
I think you scouting. Knowing who you got. I mean, Zeke is a stout. He's stout. Like he's not like a small dude, but he's not Derrick Henry. He's not
Derrick Henry.
Right, and he doesn't have the work ethic of Saquon. Saquon is squatting like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, Saquon got his one leg is 2 legs.
Right, like Saquon is. And other jokers like Jacobs, these guys are like hungry. Like they want to prove. Zeke never really ran like he wanted to prove a point. Really, kind of like I'm that dude, and much like Micah Parsons at linebacker.
He's very much they're the same dude playing different positions.
Does that make sense, Cliff?
Yeah, a little bit. But
yeah, I mean, like Zeke was out there with his stomach out, like. Shirt all tight up,
belly shirt.
Belly shirt. I'm like, bro, come on, man. You know what I mean?
And Michael was supposed to be the next Lawrence Taylor.
Right. Which Michael could still be. He could still be. it depends to be seen. Like, how his career goes, and avoids injuries and stays hyper productive. But
All right, so
you know what I
are
mean.
we listing him as a linebacker or a defensive end?
Well, it depends on in my mind, it depends on where he get voted to the Pro Bowl at.
Keep moving them
You know,
around.
keep moving him around, but he gets voted to the Pro Bowl as a not as an edge rusher. He gets voted as a linebacker.
Yeah, it all depends on how they plan them.
So who's the top linebackers in the league right now?
Ooh. Well, you know what? He ain't one of well.
He ain't one of them.
His season was
Is it
ended.
TJ?
Well, TJ's a hybrid guy, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
also because all those edge rushers that come out of college and they're like 248, 250. You know what I mean? And they was dominating, and but when they get to the NFL, they really got to slide over to linebacker because they just don't have the weight to keep going against. It's a dude coming out of Alabama that's projected to go like early first. He's like 6'5", 325. He's just punishing dudes. When you got to keep running up against that dude every single play, because he's on the edge. You gotta move those dudes around. Those 255 dudes. You know what I mean? You gotta move those guys around. You gotta give them an advantage. You gotta give them some leverage advantages. But I think he's a linebacker. You know what I mean? But he had a short season. What did he play? Like 14 games, 12 games this year. He was injured like early. So I wouldn't say he was the best at all, but only because of his lack of games.
All right, so listen, I got the Fox Sports top NFL linebackers, and since we're at Fox Sports, I'm gonna shift gears after I read this list. Number 1, Fred Warner. Number 2, Roquan Smith, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Mario Davis, New Orleans Saints. Number 4, Levante David, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5, C.J. Mosley, New York Jets. Number 6, Patrick Queen, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 7, Mike Milano, Buffalo Bills.
Mike Milano, yeah, he's a bad
Bobby
boy.
Wagner, Washington Commanders. Number 9, Quincy Williams, New York Jets. Tied for 10th, Zaire Franklin, Indianapolis Colts. And Bobby Okereke.
Okereke.
Okereke, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okereke, yeah. So those are the top 10, actually 11 linebackers, none of which were named Michael Parsons from Fox Sports. Speaking of the Fox Sports.
Fox Sports.
You're on mute, bro. Take yourself off mute.
Yeah, none of which was called Michael Parsons. Right. But again, how many games? Hold on. Let me see how many games.
Yep.
Like he didn't play a lot of games this season. He didn't play a lot of games. So I don't think he would actually be in the running to be even the best anyway.
He missed a large portion of the season.
He had 12 sacks. And he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games, 12 sacks. At that rate, you know what I mean? He definitely would have been his numbers would have looked wild better. You know what I mean? But he only played 13 games.
I mean, that's a good number. You figure full season, 17
games.
But 15,
impact.
Impact. That's as well. Because, impact is different than sacks because, sacks are sort of a misleading stat sometimes. Because, if you get that sack, you get a lot of third down sacks where you change and, you're making the team get off the field. That's a whole different sort of a sack anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's a funny thing because who's the top linebackers in the playoffs? Because if we're thinking about who do you say who was the some of the names you mentioned?
Roquan Smith.
Oh yeah, Fred Warner. Yeah.
Milano from the Bills.
Milano with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner with the Commanders.
Right. And I was
David
proud of
actually,
him.
David with the Buccaneers.
Right.
So
Oh
yeah, there's some good
yeah.
linebackers.
Yeah. And what do you? It's funny. So, what do you think even about the Bucks, man?
Yeah,
They're
the Bucks
crazy.
are
Like
scary still, man.
they're kind of scary, right?
I think the Bucks are the NFC equivalent to the Bengals. If the Bengals
Uh,
would have got in,
right.
obviously the
Right.
Bucks are not a wild card team, but still, I think they're that scary team that nobody really. Actually, no, that's not true. The Bengals would have gotten a lot of coverage. People would have talked about them because of Burrow and Jamar Chase. But
Right.
anyway, yeah, the Bucks are a scary team, man. You got to watch them. Who do they play first round? Washington.
Commanders, yeah.
Commanders in Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Bowling. That's nice. I mean, I think it would have been better for the Commanders if they would have went because it's still gonna
Yeah,
be cold in
absolutely.
DC.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? That would have
yeah,
been better for them.
yeah. That's why I'm giving Tampa the edge because they're playing at home.
Yes, yes. And as a warm weather team, that's why a home field advantage is really great for a warm weather team. Because
Yeah.
you're still playing in your environment. And anyone that's going to if you a warm anyone that's going to Buffalo,
Crazy.
oh my God. So I don't know what they even think because right now in New York City it's Ricky Williams right now. And
Yeah.
when it comes when it gets when you get up to Buffalo, if it's cold in New York City right now, bro, you get up to Buffalo, it's a whole other level of cold. And them dudes is used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think home field advantage is it's I think it's home field advantage in the playoffs is more important in football than in basketball for sure.
Oh, without a doubt, because you're dealing with the elements.
Dealing with
Well,
the
yeah,
elements.
but
You got indoor arenas. I mean, indoor stadiums. So
yeah,
Right,
but
true.
if you look at that game though, it's Buffalo Denver, right? I mean Denver
Yeah.
cold weather.
Same
Oh
weather.
yeah.
Yeah. It
Same
was
weather.
That
20
is
They're
degrees
not
in
gonna
Buffalo
be
Denver on
Denver.
Sunday.
they're
They're
not
used to
gonna be bothered at all.
no,
No.
no,
Yeah.
not them.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. They're not gonna have. That's gonna be like an offsetting sort of advantage for when it comes to Buffalo Denver because if they're playing Miami, because Miami don't play good in the cold weather anyway. You know what I mean?
Why we talking about why you brought up Miami? Tyreek Hill is like, I want out.
What do
Yeah,
you
I
mean by
think he
He's
that?
backpedaled
emotional.
on that today.
He did backpedal.
Huh?
He ain't
Oh, he
backpedal.
back back.
He ain't backpedal on. He's keeping it on the. I want to win, right? And I
Mhm.
don't want to be. His whole thing. I don't want to just be out there. You know what I mean? Which is kind of like why he didn't go back in the game because already the scoreboard had told them that they was eliminated. So he didn't go back into the game. And when he sat down with the GM for his exit interview, they was like, "Okay, bro, got it. You ain't the only competitor on this team. It's like these guys don't want to win. You've been to the playoffs every year that you've been in the league, but guess what, bro? Losing is just as much a part of the sport as winning. So you have to be as professional as you are when you're winning as when you are when you're losing.
All he
So you can't
sees
you
is
can't do that.
all he sees is Kansas City winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super
That's
Bowl.
it.
He's big in
That's it.
position. He's like, I left.
That's it.
I didn't get mine. I was good. I want to get mine so I can show these jokers. I didn't need them to get mine. I got mine on my own.
Yeah.
Nah, Tyreek, go back to Kansas City with your boy Pat
Right.
Mahomes. Get these
And,
rings.
Right.
and
Get some more
Tyreek's
rings.
numbers this season doesn't give him any allowances to kind of, say, well, I just, his numbers didn't allow him to sit out and say, oh, well, we eliminated. I'm gonna just sit down
No.
anyway, because they
No.
could switch it on you and say, well, bro, what have you done for us lately? You didn't look great
Right.
this season.
Right. But of
Well,
course,
I
his
mean,
bounce back would
it's
be like,
kind
well,
of hard to look great when your quarterback's in concussion protocol.
Oh, of course, but but they gonna just look at the numbers. We know the nuance, but they just gonna pull the numbers out.
but even the targets and the receptions.
What's his name? Hundley throwing the ball. He's not good. Come on, fam.
At all.
You know how they
And
gonna
you know what?
play it, man.
I would have went back. If I was him, I would have popped back in just to get 1,000 yards. He had 959 yards.
Damn.
1,000 yards says something. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
again, I've been on record saying that when you get 1,000 yards now, 1,000 yards is a corrupt barometer or benchmark for receivers now in a 17 game season era because getting 1,000 yards over 17 games, that yards per game is wow low. Like dudes be having like 1,077 yards. I'm like, but bro, you played 17 games. That's not really that. When you was 12 games, you got 1,000 yards. That was something. I think the barometer, the benchmark, is a little skewed now. I think having, it should be 1,200 yards at least. Like, where you consider to have a successful season as a receiver, because 1,000 yards, just ain't. It ain't giving no. It ain't making me go ooh. So if I was Tyreek, I was at least waiting. At least they still have that as a thing. Mike Evans got like 22 yards, and he celebrated like he just won lotto. He pulled everybody to the side and did a celebration.
$3.5 million bonus attached to that.
Oh, that part.
Yeah, those incentives.
I ready to the Tyreek Hill flip.
Yeah, little extra 3.5. Never hurt nobody. You know what I mean?
It's dudes who ain't making that as a salary.
As a salary, and he got it as a bonus.
As a bonus.
Yeah, but it's like as NFL players. Not that I've ever been one, but from what I hear, it's like even your contract say a certain thing. It's really hard to actually get the number that gets put out in the media, in the mainstream. Yes. Like there's all types of like incentives. So it's the contract. If you get everything, is worth this, but chances are you won't get 1,000 yards. You won't get X amount of touchdowns. You won't get if you don't get these things. So that $20 million contract, just as a number, is really probably worth 13.
Right. And the thing, and it's funny because in sports, when you have in the NBA, when you have these bonuses that you could meet in the NBA, that counts towards the salary cap, right? So if you have someone that's making 15 million, but they have some bonuses, some reachable bonuses that's worth like 3 million, their contract value is actually put at 17 million. So if you are hard against the apron, and you can't take back but a certain amount of number, if you could take back 14, but that person has 14, but he has a $3 million sort of potential bonus, then you can't bring that guy because that counts against the salary cap. So those are it's bonuses, but in some instances those just be hard numbers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So who else is this weekend? Who's this weekend?
No, we just ran down the schedule. I thought we got Chargers, Texans, Steelers, Ravens, Packers, Eagles, Broncos, Bills, Commanders, Buccaneers, Vikings, Rams.
Oh, that's going to be a crazy opening weekend.
I'm saying.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's some good football this weekend.
That's going to be football overload.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Jalen Ramsey said he won out too.
Really?
Where is Jalen Ramsey? Is he in LA? No, where is he now?
No, he went from Miami. Let me get traded to. Hold on, Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey, is it Rams?
No, he said he left the Rams.
Yeah, that's the last time I checked on him.
Was it Commanders?
No, why would he want to leave that situation?
Miami.
Hold on.
Miami.
Oh yeah, Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's in Miami. He's in Miami. So I thought he got traded. I thought he moved. For some reason, I thought he moved to a playoff team, but no, he's with Miami still. Yeah, I can imagine him went out too.
Yeah, that's why he said he went out too, just like Tyreek Hill.
Yes. But although Florida still got that no taxes and great weather and good food.
Yeah, the weather's great, no doubt. Tyrone Hughes.
Tax situation is great.
Bro, Ill-Town classmate, no doubt. Tyrone Hughes, check that out. Yeah, but though there's no taxes, There's other things you got to worry about, namely getting to the stadium
To the
safely
stadium.
without police running up.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy.
Mhm.
Dirty as well, because everybody in Miami know Tyreek Hill. Ain't like they, thought he was just some other brolic 5'9" dude driving a $500,000 car on his way. Probably had Miami Dolphins license plate or something. But yeah, they did him dirty. And also, that could also sort of contribute to why Hill might want out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
possible.
He might not feel great about that. He might feel like, you know what?
That's possible, but in all fairness, the whole country is the same. So I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah. It smells to me, I could be wrong, but it smells to me
What are
like
you doing? The Congo got a team now? Look. Right.
it looks like
You
it
ain't
could be a
gonna get that.
coaching change because
Really?
I mean, it sounds like if your two top, corner and top receiver all want to leave, they're disgruntled. It sounds like you lost the locker room. And
Yeah, well, I read though where management said he ain't going to win. Yeah, management said he ain't going to because he's a prodigy. He's a prodigy at this point.
I think that I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but Tua is such an important piece to that puzzle that him being out, like, it upsets the continuity of the team because if you don't have a quarterback that can get these boys the ball, you're just like, all right, what are we doing? All right, the team is built to do this. This is what the team is built to do, and we can't do that. So,
yes,
like,
it's a timing offense. It's a timing offense.
Is it a quarterback issue? Is it how's their defense?
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately Miami was built to outscore you.
Outscore
They got
you.
Arcane. They got Arcane in the backyard, in the background, in the backfield, who's super fast. You know what I mean? They got Waddle and Hill.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? They supposed to put up more points than you, basically.
yeah.
And it's a timing based offense. You know what I mean? So Tua gets the ball to him in stride, hits him in pocket. You know what I mean? And if your backup isn't a fit for that scheme, then the whole thing could come crumbling down like it did. And it's so funny because just speaking of how management Miami, he spoke about how he had a exit convo with Hill, and told him he can't, whatever you feel, you cannot do that. You cannot not go back into a game. But then the GM also said that he needs Tua to know that he needs to protect himself and he needs to be available. And I've never heard a GM really, besides maybe Josh, really kind of lament how the dude's not protecting himself and he's not, he's hurting the team and not making himself available. You know what I mean? So it's almost like he goes, he gets more scrutiny from the GM just for that because he's always out. You know what I mean? As opposed to Josh, even though Josh was getting derided by his management, but he wasn't missing that many games like that. He was taking those shots, but he a big guy. You know what I mean? He'll pop back up, and he good, but like they were just like, listen, we can't, it's a possibility you might get these concussions, you might get a separated shoulder, you might get these injuries. It happens with Tua. Tua's a smaller quarterback. So, with him not protecting himself, as the GM said, that he needs to know how to protect himself because it's, very important for him to be available. You know what I mean? I mean, actually, the two most unavailable dudes in both sports is in Miami, Jimmy Buckets and freaking Tua.
Yeah, but I think that is a bad idea to have Tua continue to play. I know it's his right, it's his choice. I understand that. But at the rate he's going, he's not going to enjoy his 40s. His 40s, his 50s, it could, like, at what point do you, like, you know what? Because we over time, concussions have a negative effect on you. It's not,
It's cool with it.
Want to go out there and
sure.
continue to have concussions after concussion.
Yeah.
So, and then, in terms of how he can execute your motor skills, your thinking, your.
Well,
So
he's hoping that he's had his last concussion, first of all, and there's quarterback obviously that goes seasons without concussions. Hopefully he can be that cat, but his next one could be his last one. He's just hoping that never comes. I'm sure.
Well, he needs to wear that bubble on his helmet.
bubble joint. He don't want to wear this shit.
Bro, you're gonna be crazy in the 40s.
So I read an article about him not wanting to wear the bubble hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it called officially? So it's called
bubble. It's called the hold on, I'm going now. I just was reading about it. The Guardian cap. The Guardian cap.
The Guardian cap. That's what it is. The Guardian cap. So I saw the article about it and him not wanting to wear it, and then I actually saw somebody. Thank you. Saw somebody in a game wearing it. I want to say it was somebody that was on Minnesota, and it jumps out at you right away because it's bigger than everybody else's, but it's not so big that if you're wearing it, I couldn't imagine that you even realize it's on. Like it's not an extra. It's not in the way. It's not like it. I don't know. I'm not a specialist, but the design of the Guardian cap looks like it's a great thing.
Right.
And he needs to enlist. He needs to get down with the Guardian cap. I think that's maybe they're not paying me, so we not stop short off. But it's a good idea for him. For him.
It's a good idea for him. For him.
For him.
It's a great idea for him.
Because I don't want to see
like you said.
Twisted up, bro. Like it's
my God.
It's crazy. He's on there doing the, I mean, I don't even want to.
Right, make light of it, but
it's not good.
It's not good, man.
It's not good.
Not good, man. No. And he want to enjoy. You know what? You know how frustrating it would be to literally retire to Hawaii and not be able to enjoy it because you don't got all your facilities. Oh my God, that's that. It's not like he going. Not like he from Western Pennsylvania when he retires. He's going back home. He's going back home to Hawaii, man. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful place. Like he's not being able to enjoy that. Would be very sort of a bad outcome for him and his family.
Yeah. So that's the list. So who do you got favorite? Who do you think is gonna come out of the AFC, NFC? Rich, who's your choice?
Well, I would be a fool to not say KC, right? Because they literally have proven that, they got repeat on. I feel like they got repeat on the agenda. They peak at the right time. So I'm thinking it's going to be Detroit, KC, a Midwest showdown. That's going to be.
It's going to be Philadelphia, KC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got Philadelphia.
But also, the way that I saw how they manhandled the Vikings, I was like, yo, that was a real manhandling. You know what I mean? So that made me. So before that, I was kind of leaning towards Philly, but when I saw how they manhandled the Vikings, I was like, wow, that was impressive. Like they shut down a 14-2 team. Held the 9 points.
Yeah,
that was big for me. That kind of changed my perspective. Yeah, so that's my thing.
Yo, Cliff, who you got?
Well, I like KC and Detroit, but I think if Buffalo gets that first win, Josh may have a lot to prove, and they may do it. But I like Detroit and KC.
That sounds about right to me. Who you got, Hot?
KC Philly.
Yeah,
KC Philly.
Yeah. I mean, riding with the East Coast, I ain't mad at that.
No, I mean, not even. I would normally root against the Eagles. I think there's something to be said for how they persevere. I think Jared Goff is he's bound to have a huge interception game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the Eagles will persevere throughout the season and get to the chip.
Right. That'd be dope. Then who you got winning it?
And KC.
Right.
And Detroit's hurt, dealing with a lot of injuries. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? You are so right. They are definitely banged up. Yeah. St. Brown, man is yeah. They got a lot of injuries. Yeah.
Dan Campbell at some point is bound to do something that's like he thinks is like the thing, and he's going like because that's what he does.
Too much. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, like you know what I mean, like he's gonna do something that's like should have kicked the field goal.
He's a fourth down guy though.
Yeah, but I like him more so than Sirianni.
Okay.
I mean, I think he'll blow it. He'll blow it as opposed to, Dan Campbell just being risky.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna make a bad call.
I think AJ Brown. What's the other receiver? Smith.
Devontae
Smith.
Saquon Barkley.
They got weapons though.
Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna put my money on that. I think they got weapons.
Yeah. You know what? Now I'm kind of rethinking that now. Kind of think about it, like as opposed to dudes that or ESPN who won't change their mind. You know what I mean? They'll stick with whatever prediction they made. I'm thinking about it now, and when you brought up the injuries, that was very, very crucial. And Philly doesn't seem to have any sort of lingering health issues. They seem like they're coming in strong. They rested a lot of people in that last game to make sure that nobody caught that last game MCL situation. So they definitely got some, and they're playing good. Yeah.
The thing about Philly that I really like a lot is that if Jalen Hurts is playing well, they're very balanced.
Yeah.
They're very, very balanced. And they got the big play capabilities always there.
Mm-hmm.
But, because Jalen is who he is, they drag it out.
Right.
Run the ball, whether it's Saquon or it's Jalen, he's going to run the ball. But, you got some A-list receivers.
But a good thing for the Philly game plan wise, I think in the playoffs is to get Jalen going early. You know what I mean? Get him going early so that he doesn't, he's not cold, as you get through into the game. Like get him going early, get him and to get mainly AJ Brown involved. Because you don't want AJ Brown having some kind of
you don't want that going on
at all, bro. All.
No, you don't want him pouting. You want the chemistry to be all good in the hood.
Right. They need good vibes.
To your point, gives you an opportunity to loosen up the linebackers and your safety. So you start handing off to Saquon, he could break the line of scrimmage. He got room to run.
Yes.
Well, you want to keep AJ engaged. That's the whole thing. You want to keep him engaged from the start because, Saquon's going to get going. The beauty and the effectiveness and efficiency of Jalen Hurts is the fact that he can always tuck it and run or run that RPO. So they can always get in the game. The key to them is getting AJ in the game because their defense has been stout all year. So I ain't worried about that. And like I said, with Watson out and Jordan Love a little bit hobbled, they're not going to face a complete Green Bay team. So they should be in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got a first round. They good, right? So I think that they could probably not. They could afford to intentionally get Hurts going in that game. You know what I mean? Without the fear that they could have some loss of momentum or that the Packers, will sort of jump on the opportunity and hit them with 2 first quarter scores. Because, like you said, Love is going to be, Love is, what do you got? A ankle or a knee?
Yeah, he aggravated something. I want to say it was like in the third quarter,
Right.
last week, and he said he's definitely be able to play, but
Right.
little nagger or whatever. But
Right.
Philly's rested. They're ready. They're ready to rock.
They
And he lost
rested.
his number one target too. So it ain't gonna be easy.
Right. Yeah, Watson is donezo.
Watson's out for the year now. So
And he gonna be donezo for half of next year.
yeah.
Because that rehab on that ACL, I think he had an MCL. MCL? One of them L's. One of his L's took an L.
Yeah.
So he definitely ain't gonna have, no take the top off the defense type of a guy. You know what I mean? So they have to grind it out. And I don't think that's gonna work against Philly at all. You know what I mean? So he's Philly's gonna have a good first round in that wild card round, and I think that's a good opportunity for them to get Jalen Hurts sort of very active, get AJ, make him happy, so no TMZ moments are happening, and just get ready. If they win, who do Philly play in the next round?
They will play. They'll play the winner of Minnesota Rams because the Commanders Bucks is going to be the lowest seed, so Detroit is going to get them. So yeah, they're going to play
right.
Phillies. If they win, they're going to play the winner of Rams Vikings.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the joint now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be and Detroit gets that bye. So so Detroit gets a bye. So they might even they could get rested as well. Detroit
They're going to be rested.
Yeah.
They just not get Montgomery back and maybe not Aiden Hutchinson back, but they're going to be rested.
Yeah, they ain't
They're going to get the winners of Vikings Rams. No, Commanders.
Right. No,
Vikings.
they're gonna get the
No. Commanders Bucks. Excuse me.
Yeah, the Lions gonna get Commanders Bucks winner.
Yes,
because that's gonna be the lowest seed.
Right.
Well, I'm looking at the bracket now, and it looks like they're gonna get the winner of Minnesota and LA. I'm looking at it right now.
No.
Hold on.
No, because the lowest seed is the Commanders and Buccaneers. That's the low seed game.
Yes.
Lowest seed.
Yeah, lowest seed plays the bye team. Right.
So that's going to be the Buccaneers and the Commanders going to play Detroit.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they'll right. So yeah, I think them being rested, I think that's going to have some value as well.
And they're going to win that game. They're going to win that game. But I just think the Eagles deal with the Packers. They'll end up beating the Rams in Philly.
Right.
And they'll go see Detroit in the NFC Championship.
Yes. And it's funny because, although this is a super big weekend for the NFL, and it's like, when you get to the opening round that first week, it's so many games. Like you could be in a NFL coma. I mean, like, oh my God, I just watched 8 hours of football. You know what I mean? But I think that this is going to be, so did we cover the AFC?
Huh?
Did we even cover the AFC? Did you guys cover the AFC?
We covered the AFC. We talked about the Ravens and the Steelers. We talked about Lamar and Josh. We talked about, we definitely dealt with the AFC. I mean, we covered the NFL quite thoroughly. I was actually hoping to shift gears to a little something more lighter, but off the field sports news.
We should definitely shift. I was thinking about how I was even using that as a segue, saying that although we're going to be big on NFL, some other things happening.
Well, there's a lot of other things happening.
Right. And as Whitlock said, with a rack like that.
Cliff don't get it.
Nah, not at all.
You don't get it. So you haven't heard the stories coming out of Fox Sports?
No, zero.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So there's a woman who was a hairstylist at Fox Sports, and she was very good friends with Joy Taylor. So this woman placed a civil lawsuit against Fox Sports, Skip Bayless, and I don't know if Joy is named in the suit.
No, Joy was added to the lawsuit. Joy was added to the lawsuit,
saying that is a sexually charged environment there.
Right.
That the executives and talent were coming at her to smash. That Skip Bayless had been harassing her, trying to smash out for like a minute, offered her $1.5 million to fuck him.
Right. Like a pretty woman.
Her and Joy were very good friends, and that Joy confided in her how she was getting down, saying that she was fucking one of the Fox execs and other talent.
Right, they said she got grabbed her butt.
Why is this news?
Because of this lawsuit.
I mean, it sounds like any work environment in America, any company USA.
But the reason why is because
it's some scorned person who got fired, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. That don't sound like this one. That sound like it was an Animal House situation. You know what I mean? And everybody was and it's funny because you always think that when it comes to situations like that, the women will stick together, and that was the whole thing because the lady was coming to Joy and she was like, Joy, they're trying to grab my butt and they're trying to like proposition me for sex. She's like, get over it. So Joy's telling this lady because the accusation that the lady made is that Joy slept her way to the top. So she was like, listen, get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? I'm not here just on my accolades alone. I'm not here. The job demo is out of anyway. Exactly. It's out of everybody. Shannon catching strays. Shannon catching strays. And he like, okay, maybe
everybody's catching strays. Everybody catches strays. They putting up clips. You told me it was my turn. It's my turn.
On some real Animal House business, man.
Yo, the internet is on fire right now.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And if you ever watch any of those Fox joints, you could not help look at Joy Taylor because she wore a medium sweater every day. Every time she was up there, it was just wild, extra medium.
It was rackalicious.
It was rackalicious. You know what I mean? It was just popping out. You know what I mean? And of course, and Emmanuel Ocho, he caught a stray. You know what I mean? It was like everyone was catching it, and Skip caught it a lot though. But what's so funny? Skip ain't gonna have a job anyway.
No, since Skip resigned, I think Skip knew it was coming. Oh, excuse me, pause. I think Skip was on schedule. How about that?
He knew what was on the horizon. Skip knew what was on the horizon.
Niggas, I can see it. Right. It's right there.
I can see it. It's right there. It's right there. Let me get out now. And of course,
out of here.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
And all kind of things. They were saying like this one dude, like Bobby Diaz, was a dude that they wouldn't fire him because they said he actually took his pants off on camera one time or something, but they wouldn't fire him because you know why? He was the coke connect.
He was the what?
The coke connect for the talent. He was the coke connect.
Oh no!
When you talent and you get a coke connect, you can't just be going outside doing cocaine.
We in. That's a Diddy after party.
Right.
We had the Diddy after party. Now you gonna be telling me it's baby oil in the motherfucker.
Oh my God! They couldn't fire the coke connect. You can't fire this guy. He's a coke connect. You know what I mean? Because when you famous and you making millions, you ain't just going to get your own cocaine. You know what I mean?
No, stop it.
It's like so the dude that is a coke connect, and he saw how the executives, like the guy Charlie Dixon, who was sort of a major part of the lawsuit, like he saw how Charlie Dixon was acting, and he felt emboldened. Like, you know, if you see the bosses doing it, you like, well, okay, you know, he a wild man. I'm gonna act like a wild man. So I think that was a trickle down wild man situation where he was like, well,
Trickle down wild man situation.
if they doing it, I was doing it. But, you know what I mean? So,
man. So yeah, you know,
fallout.
That's the craziness right now with Fox Sports.
Yeah, Fox Sports, and you know, this is the most people have been talking about Fox Sports anyway.
Their ratings are gonna be sky high.
Yes. Yes.
Joy's attire is gonna get skimpier and skimpier.
Oh my gosh, she gonna come out there in a catsuit.
Oh, you know she gonna do the sit down with Shannon. She gonna do Club Shay Shay.
Oh, you know she gonna do Club Shay Shay. You know she gonna do that, man.
Oh my God.
She probably booked right now. She booked right now. We just don't know the date.
Yeah.
She booked for Club Shay Shay right now.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. He's doing his podcast. He's like, yo, you know, I'm not, you know, me and Joy aren't friends. Somebody chopped up a reel of every time he said, my good friend Joy Taylor, me and Joy Taylor,
You can't be saying things if you know there's receipts out there, man.
Oh my God.
Because now you look, and you know, of course, he because it's a lawsuit, everything's alleged. So he came to, you know, to skip the fence and say, like, I don't know him to be that guy. You know what I mean? Which is, I can get that, but I didn't know that he said that that thing about Joy, and then they went and played back all the time that he mentioned Joy. I'm like, bro, you just, you know, if you want to take the, you know, my name Bennett, I'm not in it route, keep that route all the way. You know what I mean? Because he was saying that he's not going to get involved and he's not going to, you know, say whether Skip did it or not because, you know, he's not involved. But if you're going to keep that, you know, if you're going to say that, you got to hold that. You got to hold that true because, you know, at some point, if you say something that's very much untrue, you know, the internet got a bunch of people who got a lot of time. And they will go and find all those because they will put a reel together and they will post it. And now you look crazy. So Stephen A, bad media move. For a man that's supposed to be like super media savvy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's crazy though. But even that, so when you think about all the shows that, you know, because Fox had to revamp everything, like, you know, nothing was really working, right? So they got all new shows. They kept old boy show, what's his name? Well, Colin, his name going nowhere. He's the you know, the adult in the room, right? So Colin Carhart ain't going nowhere. And then they kept Nick Wright show. But after those two, they cut a lot of talent, they cut a lot of shows, and they got new shows. You know what I mean? So this is the most people have been talking about them, and I think they're gonna ride this infamy because, you know, social media and the internet, you know, it's infamy and fame look the same. You know what I mean? So they're gonna ride that. They're gonna ride that to ratings. I know they're thinking that we're gonna ride this to ratings.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise in a strange sort of way.
Right, because when the last time you had a Fox Sports conversation?
I'll be honest with you. You know, I watch Fox Sports. I'm ESPN is just I'm tired of Stephen A. yelling at me.
Oh, so the funny thing is that I actually do watch Fox Sports as well. I always tune in. If I'm turning on the TV, I try to get like an hour of Colin because Colin has good, insightful
I watch
conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I watch Colin. And it's not the sort of debate show format.
No.
You know what I mean? Which sometimes can get grating because everyone in the debate show format has to flex their personality and their sort of hot takes on things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and try to outshine the person next to them and around the table. And Colin, that format that he has, not that. I mean,
No.
he's talking to
It's more
people.
traditional delivery, interview style. He's just giving you the news straight with his twist, his opinion. But
Right.
he has a good habit for the most part, discerning when it's his opinion.
Right.
And so he's got this, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong.
Yes.
That
I like that segment. That's a good segment as well.
Yeah. And politically, he's reasonable considering Fox and their target audience and where they're at. Like, he expresses his political viewpoints in a way I can respect.
Yes.
So I do listen, watch Colin. The facility with Acho.
So I've actually seen that. Yeah, I've read because I've been reading up on the lawsuit. I saw that new show, the facility. But I've not actually saw it.
It's called That or Speak, and that's with
Joy's show. Joy's on Speak now, and Acho was on Speak, I believe. But now when the facility has replaced First Things First. I mean,
right.
Not First Things First. Undisputed.
Undisputed. Okay.
So Speak. Excuse me. The facility has replaced Undisputed. Undisputed is now Speak. With Roy Taylor, Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson, and one more person.
Oh yeah, I've seen clips of that. Is Sean McCoy still in it?
Michael Irvin.
Thank you. So that's
I've seen clips of that.
Speak.
Yeah.
That's Speak, and then facility is Acho, Shady McCoy, Chase Daniels, and my man from the Packers. Play wide receiver from the Packers. What's his name?
James Jones.
Jennings.
James Jones. Thank you.
James Jones.
Now I like the facility because these are players who are giving you, situational details. Like from being in it, from playing the sport, from being behind the scenes and knowing the deals that the owners are making because they were once the deal being made. So they have a certain understanding that's what I liked about Keyshawn talking about football, Paul Pierce talking about basketball, is I'm getting it directly from the people who played the game as opposed to just a talking head. So that's why I like the facility as opposed to what's his name, Shannon and Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen dominates the show, and it's so slapstick and comedic, and his personality, yelling and screaming and being in character, it takes away from the football, basketball, the sports information. Like you don't you get his personality and rah.
You get his personality.
Yeah, I'm good on that. So that's why I watch Fox over ESPN.
Right. Over ESPN. Right. Yeah. But it's also it's bizarre because ratings wise, ESPN trounces.
Oh, it's killing. It's kicking the ass.
It's kicking the ass. So, but maybe this could be a bounce back. Maybe people start turning in like, oh my god, what's happening over here? Let me see what's happening.
Like I totally get why ESPN. Of course, they've been around the longest. They are the model. They're the thing. ESPN. And then how they've shifted their target audience and the way they present themselves, and being more African Americans, is more people of color in the mix. Stephen A. got the bag; he's the man over there. That's like really amazing to think that a black man has that much influence and power at ESPN. So they say. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know the details, what's really going on, but he's the man. That's a beautiful thing. It's just that there's a professionalism that's kind of been lost in how sports journalism is given to us, and not just at ESPN, at Fox too. Hence the scandal that's going on with Fox Sports right now. But in terms of how it's presented to us, it's just too jokey joke. It's become too jokey joke with ESPN for me.
It's definitely, it's and not even just on that show, because when you think about the NBA coverage, they everyone says that Big Perk has the most ridiculous takes known to man. You know what I mean? And I get it, but ESPN hires people that will churn ratings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Their thing is that we need the people that's going to churn, that people are going to. So even having someone that's going to make these outlandish hot takes on, on any of these topics, although we might think it's outlandish, but the ultimate goal for ESPN is to get people watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though we might say, "Oh my God, Perk, you sounded ridiculous," but guess what? We talking about Perk.
Right.
Yeah. So he's still a topic of conversation. We still, sometimes we even tune in to see what kind of outlandish crap he's gonna say. You know what I mean? It's like, and he's he says foolish things, and we laugh at like.
Yeah, I just want to. I want to hear the basketball knowledge. Even this conversation that's going on right now with what's ruined basketball, and though I disagree with JJ Redick, and I don't think Shaq, Kenny, and Charles Barkley have ruined basketball, or I don't think that. But it is quite interesting how you don't see other sports degrade.
No,
you don't see that. Like the legends of the game have a platform to degrade the game.
Right. Right.
That's
is it to degrade the game?
Well, that's what they do.
Well, I don't know. I think they give their analysis, but I don't know. I don't think so. I mean,
it goes beyond their analysis in a lot of instances. It goes to damn near character assassinations. Like,
it does.
It's like, because you're the legend, because you're the authority, because you're the when you discuss the game in a certain way, you just don't see that in baseball. You don't see that in football. You don't see Troy Aikman and what's the boy's name, or Tony Romo, or Tom Brady's gonna sit there, not like that. Like, they might express their displeasure with the state of the game, and you might catch it, but they're not gonna sit on TV and be doing Shaq and the Fool and
but
right.
People.
Hold on, though. I think you're missing the point. These stations hire these people for their personalities. They hire them for the things that they can portray and the way they can do it. Tom Brady ain't no Shaq in the Fool. He can't. What is he gonna bring to the table as far as that type of commentary? He can't. Shaq is hired because of the range. Barkley is hired because of his opinions.
So
I don't think it's degrading the game at all.
They're never going to give anybody the platform to talk about the NFL. That's never going
to that part as well, because the NFL
won't
have it.
Dude, it's the shield.
It's the shield, bro. It's the shield.
The way we perceive it is just different.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Right. So, like the fact that there's actually a platform that we all celebrate. I love it. I watch it. I'm sitting there laughing, Shaq and the Fool, no doubt. But it's just, when you think about it, you can only do that with niggas. You're not doing that with nobody. We're not going to give you a platform that's damn near bigger than our platform so you can fucking clown me.
And besmirch the product. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like and I think overall within the NBA, I think that is just one part of how the player empowerment movement within the context of the NBA has warped not only people's perceptions, because now the people that's playing now, as opposed to like when Shaq and them, in the Barkleys and the Kenny Smiths, it's two things I think, and they won't come out and say these things, but I think it's two things that bug them. One is the player empowerment. They was like, yo, what we had to go do we couldn't even move around as freely like that. And then two, it's the money. These dudes is making Barkley money who are not that great. They are not that great, but they making way more money than Barkley. So I think those two things, the whole, sort of the wistful thinking of, I wish we could have been able to get that same sort of money, and I wish we could have been able to have this level of player empowerment. A lot of those dudes even went through the whole code of conduct, dress-wise. They had to put on a suit, you know what I mean, and show up to arenas looking like they about to, got a pitch meeting with, a client, you know what I mean? So I think the player empowerment and the pay scale that has dramatically changed with this new generation of players, I think that's a thing as well that, although they won't say it, I think that's a real thing for them.
Yeah, but it's like not but. Yes. You would hope that people would embrace it though, because that's why we should be doing this, is for empowerment and to give the next generation coming behind us a better go at it than we had. Like that's kind of like that's the ideal and the purpose. I think it's and I don't know. I don't play for the NBA, nor am I behind the scenes in the NBA. However, just a lot of things that go on with the younger generation seems that it could be averted if there was a strong system in place that included the legends, where the mistakes. I'm sure they have these conversations and these, they do all these types of programs, right? But a way to structure this thing where there's actual purpose. So it's like, we made the sacrifices so you guys could whatever, but you're going to have to make the sacrifices for the next generation coming behind you. So we're getting all as to much is given, much is required, right? So there has to be because man, these guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars, and what do we have to show for it at the end of the day? Especially when these jokers they got like each player is like a mini village because they got like 15 kids.
Right. They don't own that. Right.
Yeah, visiting my 7 baby mamas.
And the other people they supporting.
You got not to mention mom and parents and spouses, and it's just
mostly friends. Right.
Right.
But also, you know what? It's funny. Yeah.
Everybody can't be LeBron. Nor should anybody want to be LeBron. You should want to be your own person, but be as strong as you can in your own self. And having these bridges between the old generation and new generation, I think could go a long way. So,
but also my closing thought on that is that the NBA is in danger of being the only sports league whose salary cap regresses. Because if the numbers keep showing up like this, although it is a new paradigm of how the streaming services and how you can sort of like activate people to actually make purchases within the commercials. Now you watch commercials, they like scan this code. They don't even don't even go to your computer, type of just take your phone, scan this code, see these things, buy these kicks, right? So the interactiveness of how the streaming services allow you to sort of engage with viewers and combined with how, no one's really sort of watching full games no more, and everyone's watching clips. But if those viewership numbers keep going, the only reason why the salary cap keeps raising is because the TV deal money keeps coming in, and the players got to get 51% of all the generated revenue. If the generated revenue starts to go down because the TV contracts get less because the streaming services are like, well, we're not really getting the bang for the buck. The NBA will be in danger of the only time that I've ever seen a league have a retraction in their salary cap, because that would be
it would make sense anyway. I mean, they make too much money anyway, so it's not like it would be a bad thing. I mean,
I just never seen that happen.
What do you mean they make too much money?
Well, I mean, it's not like they're underpaid, is what I mean. They're not underpaid.
Well, it's what the market, whatever the market can get, whatever the market says.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
In business, is whatever the market says, and when they're the ones generating the revenue. Like, we're in a world where, there are European leagues, there are other outlets. You know what I mean? Like this, the showcase of talent is not the problem. So, like, man,
well, like Rich said,
I'm the one generating when Bronny James can do $50 million in jersey sales in 1 week. That says something about the athlete, his visibility prior to getting in the NBA, and with them having access to these computers and phones and all this, I'm coming into the situation generating revenue already. I don't need before. If you weren't on a pro team, nobody cared about you. Now you could be in high school and it's like you in the pros.
You got NIL money coming in.
You're generating revenue.
Right.
Excitement, attention, ears and eyeballs.
Right.
And I'm bringing my market with me to the Lakers. I'm bringing my market with me to the Knicks.
Right.
Different than, I know you was a standout athlete at whatever, but you gotta make your bones as a Knick, as a net, as a
right. So people are, and I think there's like social media has allowed people, young athletes to develop themselves into a brand before they even go into the professional ranks. So they bring that brand to the league and to a team, and I think that is an added bonus of what sort of social media is. But I also think that it's almost like the NBA feels like the housing bubble, and it's going to pop at some point because the eyeballs aren't there, and once the people that give the TV deals feel that they're not getting sort of equitable value for what they are paying for the rights for these games, they're going to start pulling back on what that money is. They're going to be like, listen, we just gave you, $800 million for, $1.2 billion for the right to broadcast these games that no one's watching. So although, the NBA is like always flipping it and saying, okay, well, you are actually getting this value that's not measured traditionally when you think about a Nielsen rating, so you're getting all this extra sort of social media and web presence and web bang for your buck, you know what I mean? But they're going to have to find a way to quantize that and make that have, the Maxes of the world, the Amazon Primes, and make them see that they're getting the same level of value, although they're getting less eyeballs, you know what I mean, on full games, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a trick that, that the NBA, the commission's office is going to have to, they're good for now because they just signed a new contract and the salary cap is going to bounce up again next year, you know what I mean? But the next round, that's going to be where the details and where the proof in the pudding is going to be like, okay, people are going to be like, you know what? I don't know, man. We can't give you $2.4 billion for this TV package no more because we're not getting the same amount of eyeballs unless the NBA can show them that they're getting value in other ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. So let me see. D'Angelo Russell is a Brooklyn Net.
I mean, you know what? D'Angelo Russell is like the kid in the divorce house, and the parents of the Lakers and the Nets, and he keep moving back and forth from his dad's house to his mom's house, then back to his mom's house. I mean, like it felt like, you know, contractually they obligated to trade him to each other every 2 to 4 years. You know what I mean? He keeps getting traded back and forth. I hope he kept a crib in both cities. Because this is his second stint. This is his third stint in Brooklyn.
I think this is his third stint.
And he did at least 2 stints in LA.
LA.
Like he's.
Who they trade for him?
Dorian Finney-Smith.
Has he been playing?
Shake Milton. Oh yeah, Dorian Finney-Smith has had the best plus minus since he's been playing. He's played 5 games already. They're ecstatic over his play defensively and just waiting for him to get his rhythm offensively. But he's been doing his thing.
Yeah, he's valuable. He's got good value.
Maybe a good trade.
Yeah, I mean, for the Nets, who I say they should be tearing it down from the rip. They had too many, dudes that want to, play for, the next team. Who, you know what I mean? They had too many dudes that was not going. They was not horrible, and they would not pack it in and just, they needed some Washington Wizard dudes. They needed like a Jordan Poole
who you talking about?
Jack up. The Nets had too many. The reason why the Nets, the tear down for the Nets, they waited too long. You know what I mean? So now they 13-19, and that's not going to get you either, well, you ain't going to get Cooper Flag because that's for the horrible teams like that 1-2 games. You know what I mean? But you should have been in the running for that. You know what I mean? But now you ain't going to get.
It was a lottery though.
But it's weighted. It's a weighted lottery, so you get as many. Based on your record, you get more ping pong balls.
I mean, So realistically, what do you think the Nets will end up when it's all said and done?
Well, mock drafts got them right now, and it's early. They got them at number 8, or earlier they was at number 13. Now, since they started losing, since they made some trades, they're at number 8. And 8. So in my mind, you needed either one of the dudes from Rutgers, Bailey or Harper, or Flag. That's who you really wanted to get, right? And they're not going to be in the running for those dudes at all because they off the rip they won too many games coming out the gate. You got the NBA. Hold on, let me use NBA standings. You got dudes. You got teams that like in the East, and let's say the East. You got dudes that won. Wait. Okay, this is yeah. What? No, yeah. So the East got the Hornets won 7 games. Wizards won 6 games. You know what I mean? The Nets won 13 games. They in double-digit wins. So, and in the Western Conference, they got a 7-win Pels team. They got a 9-win Jazz team. You know what I mean? To really get really sort of like that top tier franchise.
Yeah, but it's early in the season.
Talent.
You're only talking about 5 or 6 games that separate these bottom teams, and these teams can go on 15-game losing streaks. So I mean, like, we're far from draft stuff. I mean, we don't know where this gonna go.
No,
but I mean, there's 3 people at the top. I mean, like you said, I mean, the 2 Rutgers boys and Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag, right.
I mean, so this
after
talent.
that, right. So I was always hoping that I'm like, okay, the Nets is really gonna try to tear it down, and I mean, maybe they could, because the only other dude that I really like is the guy from BYU. Well, I like him, Igor Denham, but I also like the guy from Baylor, BJ Edgecombe. But those BJ Edgecombe is at 8, and this mountain that I'm looking at right now got Brooklyn picking 7. and getting this guy from Nolan Chayari, a foreign guy from France. You know what I mean? But I really want them to get one of the top three. Hopefully they still can. Like you said, it's not straight record like the NFL. It's a weighted sort of how many you get extra ping pong balls based on how bad your record was. So even if you get the least amount of ping pong balls, you can still get it. You know what I mean? So it's still there, but I like the fact that I want them to get more of the ping pong balls, because if you're going to tear it down, you know what I mean, and you're going to have cap space because Ben Simmons is going to be gone, you're going to take his money off the books. You know what I mean? And whoever else is scheduled to come off the books, I think they projected to have $70 million in cap space. So you do ideally you have enough money to bring in a high level free agent, but you really want to build it from the draft, because the Nets have had such a horrible track record of trying to build with these free agents. First, it was the Boston Massacre in 2013, right? Then it was the KD, Kyrie, Harden. You know what I mean? So they don't have a great track record of building with free agency, So I'm thinking like maybe they just change course and say like, we'll just tank it out and build from the draft, like like a OKC. You know what I mean? Who did great with that. San Antonio's doing great with that, So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on. I think the Nets, got out the gate with too many wins. You know what I mean? So hopefully they could, sort of stop piling up the losses. You know what I mean? To get more of the ping pong balls, to get a franchise cornerstone in the draft. So I'm just hoping that, and it would be dope if they got one of the Ruckus boys. That would be amazing. You know what I mean? Especially Dylan Harper. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Local kid. And then also, before we even get off basketball, I do want to talk about Unrivaled, the league. The WNBA, the league that the WNBA players have set up. It's called Unrivaled. I didn't hear you. You look muted.
You're muted, Hop.
Yeah, I will hold that thought for 1 second.
Okay.
Because we got, in Brooklyn, we talked about the Nets, and we got a New Yorker, the Knicks fan over here, Mr. Clifton Allen, the Zatch Master is a diehard Knicks fan, and they got Big Cat over there.
We gotta talk about that. Oh my God,
Man.
I think he's the best. That's an impactful ass trade, bro. Oh my God. They are making out like a bandit. Oh my God.
It's gonna be a lot better when Mitchell Robinson get back though. They have that defensive support that they need.
Yes.
Well, they're at the third spot now, and as long as they stay top four, they'll be in good shape, because Boston ain't going nowhere and Cleveland ain't going nowhere.
No, they're not.
No, absolutely.
They're not. And Cleveland's looking very good. At first, remember when they got that they started off the season with all those wins, people didn't believe that they was going to be able to maintain that level of winning, but they show that they're not just a flash in the pan. Like they got a really well balanced, great team. You know what I mean? And they know how to win. They're not folding under pressure.
Nope.
You know what I mean? They're a solid, they giving me OKC vibes in a way. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like young team. You know what I mean? That really sort of, but not in the same sense that, because they did bring in Donovan Mitchell, who was a sort of marquee, sort of import, and OKC sort of built all that up through sort of all that tanking. You know what I mean?
Well, they brought in Shea. Shea was with the Clippers.
Oh, true.
Shea was with the Clippers. So
yeah, but you know what?
Put together, somebody put together a reel of Shea cooking when he was with the Clippers, and it was like, man, we don't know how the Clippers fumbled this ball, because he was putting in work. He had jokers on skates. Everything you see him doing OKC, he was doing his year
with the Clips.
With the Clippers, he was killing them.
Right.
But
was he starting?
No, he was coming off the bench, but when he was getting minutes, he was serving niggas. He was like, he was Like it was just like you're looking at him in OKC. He just wasn't getting, I guess, the minutes, and
right.
they didn't realize what they had.
Right.
Yeah, Paul
Right.
George, Kawhi Leonard, and
Right.
Harden wasn't there yet. But you got those
Right.
jokers. You're not thinking, I guess,
Right.
but OKC's benefit, because they're
Right.
deep,
Yeah. But in
OKC,
that sense, though, they brought in Cleveland brought in a full-fledged all-star with Mitch. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He was already, an all-star, and so I think bringing Shea in really was a non-disruptive move. You know what I
got
mean?
you. Yeah,
You know what I mean? But bringing in Mitch could have been disruptive, and it was always rumbled that it kind of was veering towards being disruptive with Garland, and
yeah,
like you say, we ain't behind the scenes, and I'm not Shams, right? But at the same time, there was enough rumblings to have to say that it had to be something there. It was constant, words that, and of course, you get a Mitch and a Garland together, those dudes are like, they got the same mindset, So it's a chance that might not work, but it has worked beautifully this year,
yeah,
and I think that I think they're going to ride that all the way to the end of the season, and I think we're going to see how that even plays out because, Boston has not looked as dominating as I thought they were going to be. You know what I mean?
no, but it's still early, like you guys
Still
mentioned.
early.
It's still early. Um, they played a lot of basketball last year.
A
Yeah,
lot.
but they still got the second or third best record in basketball.
It's the second, no,
Yeah.
it would be third.
OKC and Cleveland.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right. And also, like you said, even a lot of basketball because really the dudes is in the Olympics. You know what I mean? So they played all over the summer. So, fatigue could be although everyone says that when you play in the Olympics, when you come back, you really on your game and it really gives you a boost. But when you went all the way from game one to the championship, you played a lot more basketball. And then having that summer, when you went all the way to the end and you won it, but having that summer where you're not really getting that rest, you had to go to the training camp, then you had to play the Olympics. So fatigue, could end up, factoring in, for the Celtics. That could be a real thing.
yeah.
But I still
Who else we
like
got?
that their 5-out lineup is ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? Although the world is the Barclays of the world is crapping on all the 3-point shooting, but if you want to emulate Boston or what Stephen used to do, you can't emulate that if you don't have that talent, because then you just got dudes jacking up.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even when you do have that talent, so we have this conversation about the 3-pointer and what it's done to the game, especially the mid range in the low post game is kind of missing in today's NBA. Analytics tells you that the more threes you take, the more you're bound to make. 3 is better than 2. Take more threes, and that's how we got to where we are. So I'm like, I think the NBA needs to institute a rule where no team can take more than 20 to 25 shots per game. No player can take more than 7 to 9 shots a game. And that would instantly make the 3-pointer more valuable, actually, because you have a set limit that you can take. So you have to use them judiciously. You can't just be shooting threes. And now that you can't do that, it forces you to employ the mid-range in the low post game more. I think that would do a lot to add the gamesmanship back, the strategy back. Just jacking up threes is a little play right now.
Right. It is, and especially the sort of passing up a clear path to the rim. You know what I mean? To flip back out.
Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? And it's times when, the 2 is good enough. Like, you're not down 3 with, seconds to go. Like, no, get the 2 and probably the N one. Why would you pass out?
Right.
Because the analytics says da 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 da. I mean, I guess if you want to win, you got to do what the numbers say. Numbers don't lie. So if numbers don't lie and numbers say do that, that's what we got to do. But it takes away from you want to see somebody get dunked on.
Right, exactly. Which
Or
is
you want to see
basically a big part of the game. Right. You want someone to one of the great things about the NBA is the athleticism. Yes, the athleticism. If you remove that part.
Yeah, that's a good point. You remove the athleticism out of the game. Oh, that's incredible. Yeah. That's exactly what happens. It's all just taking threes. What you think, Cliff?
I mean, it will definitely change the game. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely an interesting theory if you think it through and how it would affect the game. I think there is too many threes being jacked up now, but it's going to be based on your strategy, your gameplay, and your personnel.
Mm-hmm.
And if they incorporated something like that, it would definitely change the game and definitely bring more strategy into it. Obviously, defense, mid range, all that you said. I just don't know if they'll do it.
But now the NBA with all the threes, the NBA resembles EuroLeague. You know what I mean? Where they don't have the level of athleticism that the NBA has.
The Jokers, the Doncics.
Right.
Cats not that athletic, but they skilled as fuck. They got skilled. Joker is the best player in the NBA right now, by the way.
Oh my God. That's not even up for debate.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not even up for debate.
Well, they got Boston tonight. That should be a good game.
Yeah.
Right.
Boston at Denver, plus Boston's coming off a loss. So I mean,
where are they playing?
Huh?
Where are they playing?
In Denver.
In Denver?
Okay.
Yes, I think it's the second game. I think the Lakers are playing now. I think it's the second TNT game tonight.
Really? The Lakers are on right now?
Lakers are on right now, but I got to bounce because I'm starving. And Den's ready.
Okay.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay. So yeah, well,
So you know what? So next time, I do want to come on and talk about Unrivaled because that's going to be a really incredible experience for women's basketball.
All right, well let's bring it back next week, next Tuesday.
Yeah, next week. Let's do that, brother. Yeah.
Here it is.
Yes.
All right, fellas.
All right now. Have a good week.
Yep.
Yes. Have a good week.
Peace out.
And may the ball bounce your way. Because ball don't lie.